Hey guys, it's Allie, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a Q&A, but a Q&A specifically about AGTube. Now, even on both platforms, Instagram and YouTube, where I got the questions, a lot of people still asked me questions about things that are completely unrelated to AGTube and things about myself, for example. But no, we're keeping this strictly about AGTube. So those are the questions I will be answering. So any questions about starting a YouTube channel, tips, advice, all that stuff. So without further ado, let's get started. Do you have any advice on how to grow your channel and staying motivated when it comes to creating content? My best advice on how to grow a channel is to just post frequently, because the more frequently you post, people will subscribe because they'll be like, oh, I get a lot of content from this person. And then eventually the algorithm will hopefully pick up your video and you have more chances of quote unquote going viral the more you post. So that is probably my biggest advice. When it comes to staying motivated, it definitely can be hard when you're a small channel because you'll just feel discouraged every time you upload and there's like little viewer engagement. But what motivates me for sure is viewer engagement. And I'm not gonna lie, I do make a little bit of money from YouTube. I make more with my part-time job, but it does help motivate me to be active and create content since I know I'll be making a bit of income. If you're a small channel, my best advice is just trying to engage with the comments you get as much as possible, because I know I really love interacting with other collectors and that helps me to stay motivated. What is the hardest part about being an AGTuber? For me, probably editing, balancing editing and pumping out content because you want to be active with other activities like school. And then also sometimes when a video that you worked really hard on just underperforms and doesn't do how you want it to, it's really disappointing because it's like I spent all of that effort on the video. I thought it was gonna do very well for my channel and it didn't. And then you just kind of feel bad about wasting time on that video, even though there's definitely people out there who like have loved videos. I don't know if that makes sense. How do you post a video about American Girl? Now, I'm not exactly sure what this person means. I guess you create a Google account and then you click upload and you make a video and you post it to YouTube. I don't know what else to say. How safe is the AGTube community, like with privacy, acceptance, etc.? Now, I've never really had my privacy breached or anything. Please, like, knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But I think because it is such a small community, things are pretty much kept within the community, which is kind of nice, but hard for growth. As for acceptance, people of all genders and sexualities are welcome. It's quite a diverse community. There's even quite a few male identifying collectors in the community. And I think also with AGTube, what separates it from other niches is it isn't really about the creator. It's not about who I am as a person. It's about my dolls and my collection, right? That's why I don't really feel a need to show my face on here. As long as you have good content, people will accept you. What is the hardest part about coming up with video ideas for you? Actually, video idea planning isn't that hard for me. For the past few years, I've had a brainstorm of video ideas on my notes app. I've been trying to shift that to Notion with my other YouTube related stuff. So I have a bunch of ideas, including room tours, what happened to an active YouTuber, tier list videos, and then I also have a brainstorm of list style videos because those tend to do very well when I post them. So if I'm looking for a video that will like boost my channel, then I'll do something from there. So I haven't really struggled with video ideas in a while. It's more so the editing that I struggle with because I'm never motivated to edit. What video idea do you like most for your type of content? Well, I guess if you consider my type of content to be the lifestyle niche, which is what I consider myself part of, any type of unpopular opinion video, I guess, does the best if you're looking for like lifestyle specific stuff. All my dolls videos also tend to do well for me, but more so over time compared to immediately. But I think my favorite type of video to make, at least recently, has been deep dives into things like memes, for example. Just being able to talk to people and interview them and hear their side of the story has been really fun, but having visuals is a lot more entertaining to edit than just straight up doing a podcast like I did with Dollcast. I do want to do an in-depth video on like what happened to Interstar U, and that has been an idea I've had for months, and I will get it done. Don't know if there'll be interviews necessarily, but just deep diving into stuff and making informational type videos is fun because it's the type of content I watch on YouTube. Quite a few people asked where I get my inspiration for videos, and as I said earlier, I have my giant sheet, so anytime I get a video idea, I write down the idea. I watch a lot of YouTube, and of course a lot of it is not doll related, but sometimes I'll see an idea and I'll be like, wait, what if we changed this and made it fit with dolls in my channel? So then I'll get a video idea from there. I also watch a lot of other AGTubers, and sometimes, especially with Lynn Life, because we make similar content, I'll watch one of her videos and be like, this is creative. I feel like I can add my own opinions to this type of concept. So of course I'll give her credit, and then I will do that video idea. And then sometimes things just come to me where it's like, I really wish I had a video like this I could watch, and then I will make that video for other people. What videos do people tend to watch more? Now this probably depends on your channel. If you're a stop motion channel and you suddenly make a non-AGSM video, it might not do as well. For me, the videos that tend to do well are anything that's like unpopular opinions related, but that's kind of hard to do because A, I only have so many unpopular opinions and they can't see other people's point of view, and then you have to deal with the occasional hate comment, bad like to dislike ratio, and things like that, but they do well. So you've kind of got to like pick your poison, I guess. How much value do you think a posting schedule gives? I don't really think you need an exact posting schedule, like, okay guys, every Saturday at 1:59 p.m. PST, I'm posting, come to my channel. Cause like no one's gonna memorize it. If anything, they'll just memorize the day of the week you post. But I think I memorize more so how frequently a creator posts content than the exact time that they post. For example, I aim to post at least once a week, so you can kind of expect a video from me about every week. If you're a creator that posts every month, then I'll be like, oh, they haven't posted recently, and then maybe I'll look into it. But I don't think you need an exact one, but if it helps you as a creator to like stay on a schedule so you pump out content at a good frequency, then definitely make a posting schedule. I have one for organization, but if I have weeks where I'm just like, okay, video's not happening on a Saturday, then I will post on a Sunday instead. And I don't really think my audience cares too much as long as they still get content from me. What are some AGTube genres besides AGMVs, AGSMs, lifestyle, etc.? Would an AG sewing channel count? For sure. And I feel like there's actually not that many active AG sewing channels on AGTube right now. So Isa Fashion Dolls, I hope I pronounced that right, definitely make an AGTube if you're watching for sewing doll content. Especially the accounts that have free patterns are amazing, because a bunch of my favorite sewing AGTubers like Dolly Delights, for example, they're just not active on YouTube right now. And I have made a sewing video before, but it's definitely not my niche. As long as it incorporates American Girl dolls somehow, you can make it part of AGTube. So other examples besides what you listed would be things like AG DIY channels, or even just like straight up collector channels where it's like you just unbox things and share your collection. Someone says, I've been interested in making an AGTube channel for a while, but I don't know if I could. What are your tips for AGTube newbies, specifically for editing, post frequency, etc.? I'll just talk about editing first. I'm a laptop editor, but I know there are so many good mobile apps out there for editing, so you do you. Don't go wild with the effects and transitions. I find a lot of new channels do that, and then there's a certain point where, at least in my opinion, if you're like, transition, it just like is too much and it kind of looks cringy. So I think simple is best. I sound like Giselle from aespa. I think a good beginner software is iMovie. It's free if you have an Apple device. I specifically recommend it on the computer. If you're just doing things like simple cuts, it's great. I will admit, if you go too wild on the iMovie effects and things like that, you can tell immediately that that person edited on iMovie. So I recommend sourcing your music from elsewhere and maybe doing text on another platform, but it's good for just getting the basic edit done, and then you can upgrade eventually to a better software. As for post frequency, I think once a week is pretty good and it's manageable for a lot of people. I'm currently working 5 days a week, so I like to set aside one day on the weekends to just get a rough cut done. Maybe every 2 weeks if you have to, but try not to be posting once a month unless you absolutely have to. The more frequent, the better, but don't burn yourself out. And I don't really know any AGTubers who post daily. It's not something that you really have to do in this niche. What is the best way to edit a YouTube video? I'm not sure if you mean like software here or if we're talking like the order, but I'll just quickly tell you the order of how I edit things. First is the rough cut, my least favorite thing. So that's when I'll pile up all my footage and I cut out any pauses, awkward silence, that's the same same thing as a pause, and I just clean up the video, fix up the pacing. Second pass is what I call the next step, and that is when I will add in graphics. And normally along the way of my rough cut, I like to keep note of, oh, I want to add a graphic here, or this should be zoomed in here, just so I remember if I come back to editing another day what I wanted to do. And then I do as many passes as I need to perfect the graphics, transitions, and then I add in my music and export. What do you use to edit? How did you learn to edit, and how long does it take to edit? Okay, a lot of editing questions. First question, I use Final Cut Pro to edit. It does cost quite a bit of money, so don't get it as soon as you start a channel. I used iMovie for multiple years, and I just felt like I could do everything that was possible in the software, so I decided to upgrade. How I learned to edit? Well, iMovie and Final Cut Pro are both Apple products, so the layout was kind of similar, which helped out a lot. I also just Googled videos on like how to use Final Cut, and the ones that I found the most helpful were by Catherine Manning. There's so many tutorials out there for using fancy software, whether it's Photoshop or Final Cut Pro, but a lot of them are just really boring to me. I was also lucky enough to have friends who used this software that I would just text and be like, hey, how do I keyframe? And they would give me a tutorial. And how long it takes to edit honestly really depends on the video. Some videos it's just one pass of rough cut, one pass of graphics, done. But then other ones I come back to add more footage, or I shoot it at different times, or there's just fancier effects. It really depends. Somebody asked, what do you hope to achieve with your channel? Destigmatization, community? When I first started, I just wanted to share my collection. I really love having a community, and I feel like I've already achieved that. And with the AG memes becoming popular, I feel like more and more people are finding my channel, which is awesome. So welcome to the community. Destigmatization for sure is something that I would love to achieve. I want to show, as I just said, that adult collectors collecting dolls is completely normal. You don't necessarily have to play with them, and I just want to normalize it and be like, we're not weirdos who play with dolls. And I just want to show that like there's a genuine community out there. I don't know. I also like learning about editing and like cinematography and just all the stages of like filmmaking. I don't plan on majoring in film or anything, but just being able to make content like my favorite YouTubers that I watch is just in a different niche is kind of fun. I would also love to be sponsored one day in terms of like achievements with my channel, but that's obviously not why I started YouTube, and I didn't know what sponsorships were for the longest time. If you could change one thing about YouTube, what would it be to make it more user-friendly? I mean, I think YouTube's pretty user-friendly. On the day I'm recording this, I did my first ever YouTube live stream, and it was surprisingly way easier than I thought it would be, so that went well. I think it's a user-friendly platform, but if we're talking just change one thing about YouTube in general, I want to tell them that not all doll content is for kids. I am an adult, and I have so many comments from adult collectors, even teenage collectors, and I'm thankful that YouTube doesn't really disable my comments, but I have a bunch of friends in the community who are also adult collectors targeting adults who always get their comments disabled, and it's really hard to stay motivated, especially if you're like me, where you love interacting with, you know, your fan base, your community. It's hard to stay motivated when your comments just keep getting disabled. So I really wish that YouTube would be more open to other types of doll content and just have like a human review process rather than a machine automatically disabling comments and things like that. How does being an adult collector affect your videos? I think it allows me to channel a different audience, because I'm sure there are kids who watch my videos, even though you are not my target audience and you should not be on YouTube, but it allows me to become more like attractive to other adult collectors, which is definitely my target audience, because like, you know, showing that adults collecting dolls is completely normal. And I think it allows me to bring like a maturity and like some experience as someone who's been in the community for a while to my videos. And it's also a lot easier to reach out to people for things like interviews or collabs who are a similar age to me. And I think just being an adult collector and being able to spend my own money on things like software, equipment allows me to have better quality videos overall. And if I want to buy a doll, for example, I can be like, okay, I'm gonna get a doll. I don't need to go through my parents because I make my own money. And then I can be like, this is a business expense. So I don't know. It's just nice being able to be independent and then target that older audience. How do you get the motivation to make videos when you feel disconnected to your dolls? Well, a lot of the times my videos don't actually require dolls themselves. It's just me talking about them. If you're looking for tips to reconnect with your dolls, watch my recent video. Well, recent as of the time of recording at least. Do people in real life know about your AGTube channel? A decent amount do. I actually just told my coworker the other day because I was like, oh, I need to do editing. what are you editing? I have a YouTube channel. It's definitely a lot easier to tell people now that I'm older because high school is really judgy, but college has been a breeze telling people about my channel. It's such a big part of who I am that if we're friends and you don't know I have a channel, it's just like hard. I don't know. I feel like I'm always talking about work and I get excited when videos do well and things like that. But I'm not gonna lie, having more subscribers does help too because it helps like legitimize your content. If you're like, oh, I have a channel. Oh, how many subscribers? 50. Oh, you must suck. Not that any of you with 50 subscribers suck, but like it's like an outsider's perspective. But if it's like, oh, you have almost 5,000 subscribers, people actually like your content, you actually get views, it's just a lot easier in my experience for people to like accept your channel and think it's a cool thing rather than have it be something they want to make fun about. So that's just my experience, but a decent amount of people who are close friends with me know about my channel. How much time do you spend on creating your videos? This really depends. Some require a bunch of prep, outlines. Other ones like this, I can just be like, hey guys, it's a Q&A, and then I film. But with Q&As, cutting it down is the real kicker. That's what takes a while. So it really depends. What's a video that you aren't proud of? A lot of my older videos were like 2-3 minutes, and it was like Christmas room decor, which fine, but I'm like, how did I fit that all into 2 minutes? And like looking back, if any of you guys are looking to get monetized, this might be hard if you're doing stop motions, but if you're doing lifestyle, try and get your videos over 8 minutes. Not only so you can monetize them with mid-roll ads once you become monetized, but apparently longer videos do better, and it's just easier to get watch hours if you have longer content. Back in like maybe like 2019, 2018, all of my videos were like 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes max. And it's just so hard to gain watch hours because those videos are so short. So it's not necessarily a video in particular, it's just a phase of my channel I'm not proud of looking back on it. And on that note, those are all the questions I will be answering. There were way more that were asked, but they were like completely unrelated to AGTube, like questions about my Etsy, what type of dolls I collect, and my opinions on certain dolls, just things that aren't really related to AGTube. I hope you learned a thing or two from this video if you are an aspiring AGTuber, and if you have any other questions regarding AGTube, feel free to comment them down below. And if you are looking for advice, I do have quite a few videos on my channel about YouTube advice. I know my channel is about dolls, but I really do love talking about YouTube because I feel like over the years I've learned so many tips and tricks and how to read analytics and things like that, and I really just want to help other people and share my wisdom that I've accumulated so we can all grow together. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below your channel if you have one because we all have to support each other, and maybe a brief description of the type of content you make. And of course, have an amazing day, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye!